It's a beautiful morning here in the city of Lagos. Good morning. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Off the Press on Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewike, and I have two guests with me in the studio. Still with us from the news earlier, Jide Ologo, legal practitioner. Thank you very much for staying with us.
You're welcome.
And joining us afresh this morning is Ugochukwu Ikako, political analyst. Pleasure to have your company.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll start with the Nation newspaper now. Let's see what's here. Of course, the Christmas is on the front page of the Nation newspaper. The Apostolic Faith Church Orchestra during 2019 Christmas Carol at the church. I'm talking about the picture itself. I think we should just start with some sharing news this morning before we go to other issues. And of course, the screamer isn't something to be smiley about. The U.S. is on the front page. It has to do with the religious watch list. U.S. religious watch list. Federal government can bicker over that title. It has one writer. Freedom of worship exists, says Minister. Activists accuse U.S. of undue interference. And then you have several quotes from the federal government, from Christian Association of Nigeria, and from the Muslim Council of Nigeria, also on the front page of the Nation newspaper. You're looking at it right now. If you can, there you see it. Let's go to the top. Just above the picture, you're looking at Deputy Governor rift with Akeredolu, normal in politics. That's some in-house troubles there. And then at the top of the paper, ASU proposes own peril for use in varsities, recruitment process faulty. Tanker drivers threaten strike over port roads. Containers must exit. Army extends Operation Show Your ID Others exercise to end January 7, and something there on the CBN slashing bank charges. That put a lot of smiles on people's faces. Since the news broke that the CBN has slashed the bank charges, card maintenance fees scrapped completely. I hope not to see that a lot on my phone. Let's kick off on that note, the CBN announcement, which let's start with you. CBN slashes bank charges. You don't look to be smiling about it. Why?
They've been debiting our money for years. And,
I mean, isn't it a good way to end the year?
Well, till it happens, I'm more interested in the the actual. Let's see coming to play and rest of them. It is a good move if that happens, but CBN has been on the wrong side for the people this year. They love miscalculation. You see how the country's economy has been. We've seen how they've made some bad judgment. People wake up and start paying 15 naira for every transaction for a long time before they then went back because they saw that the policy was flawed. So am I excited about it? No, it's not enough to be excited. But let's see what happens, because at the end of the day, sometimes it's difficult when market people, sellers, or rest of them have factored in the 50-50 naira and rest of them into their sales. Asking them to go back to it might be difficult, because what the government says is different from what the market says. Both are different options that we'll see. So, but let's see what happens. It's a good one, hopefully.
Did you share that thought?
Absolutely. And I want to advise that the government should look more at the macro level. How can we empower this economy? The reduction in the charges, quite welcome. But how do we ensure that prosperity returns to the land? Like he insinuated, you need to go and check the inflation rate out there now. At the last check, it was 11.8%. And when you look at all this, the impact is that businesses are closing down. People are going through hardship. And I saw this coming. If the banks do not rise up to begin to come up with people-friendly policies, the banks may go kneeling down on the streets for depositors to come and deposit money, because human beings find ways of also reacting to whatever comes their way. So where there is an action, you expect a reaction. So I think the policymakers should sit down and look at how all stakeholders can be carried along. Not a situation where some of the stakeholders make so much money impoverishing the others. I've been traumatized for years with all these deductions. You
No,
take money to the
I
bank,
think every single person in this
withdraw
country
what's on the
that,
bank.
yes, that uses the bank
deduction-
has a
deduction is
similar
deduction
experience.
is crazy.
All right, let's look at this big one. The U.S. Religious watch list, the bickering between the federal government and CAN. I don't know if you saw the statement by the Minister of Information on this issue. What's your take on it generally?
I don't waste my time on Lai Mohammed. He's not to be trusted. He's not reliable. He's an ineffective government spokesperson, and I'll say it any day, any time. And I have no atom of respect for what he does, because if you're in an exalted office and all you do is not to inform the people rightly and to do your work and not to project the country the right way, and all you think about is a politics and trying to be a yes man for your leader, it doesn't help anybody. And if you can speak truth to power, you have no use to me or for anybody that is reasonable. And having said that, the U.S. religious watch list is not new. All right, this is not the first time we're seeing in this country, but the fact is that we have an administration that is not quick to look inward to see what this person is saying is the truth. All right, it's crazy when your own people are telling you something, you're not listening. An outsider that is thousands of miles away from here is telling you the same thing, you're not listening. All right, in the north, Christians in the north are not having the best time of their life. All right, people have been killed under this administration for just, for saying some things across some other places in the country, especially in the north, where we know it was a volatile area. So is this happening? Are people having, is freedom of worship or freedom of expression, is this something that is at its very best here? No. All right. Even as a journalist, you can't practice fully. Even as a journalist, you can say some things. Even as a media house, you can say something. So let's take that aside. Since we're talking about worship and rest of them, it is not happening. It's a difficult thing, all right? If Lai Mohammed is maybe one of the Christians, maybe somewhere in Zamfara or somewhere in Adamawa and the rest of them, he won't be saying this, no, right? The truth is that there's an atom of truth. There's a high level of truth in what they're saying. So the truth is that will the government do something about it? Will they look at
That's another issue entirely. Your quick thought on this before we move on to the next paper. I got carried away. Time is not a friend. Army extending operations, show your ID, and others. You remember when it came out, there was a lot of reaction against it. Your take?
As of us have asked the questions, what device will they embark upon to even confirm that the IDs are authentic? And this is further going to clamp down on the freedom of the people. I know that right now the federal government is registering immigrants in this country. So if we opened our borders to immigrants, when some countries are controlling the entrance of immigrants to their region, and we are now going on Operation Show Your ID, I think I'm not comfortable with having militarized democracy. So we need to look at this very well. And we wish the government the best. But like I keep saying, let's work on the economy of this country. And you will find a lot of issues getting resolved. But this intimidating approach in court may not solve the problems.
This day newspaper is next for review this morning. We have Northern Elders set up committee to reconcile Ganduje Sanusi. Abdusalami Abubakar heads 10-man team. That's on the front page of this day newspaper. If you go to the top of the paper, you will see the religious freedom tag that we just talked about. That's actually the back page of this day newspaper. Alex Oti talking about addicted to the sharing economy. Outside the box this morning. That's for you. But if we go to the front page, you will see some of this story. CBN reduced bank charges to pacify customers, says Emefiele. That's another one for you. Oil fields, Dixon upgrades Wike. We've taken what's on the back page. A quick thought on this before we move on, which could not an elder setting up committee. Just very quick.
Nigeria elites are the worst in the world. And not on a list, like on that list that the number one on the list of worst elites in the world. Because the truth is this, you have a Ganduje that has not done anything as a governor, that has not proven himself what. He's a governor that was caught on camera taking money and stuffing in his babariga. What have they done? What have the elites done? What have Abdusalami Abubakar and his friends done so far? Have they asked him to do anything in terms of reducing the mortality rate in the north, to reduce the VVF rate in the north, to make sure that the number of children going to school has increased? Have they done all that? No.
But in the context of his relationship with Sanusi,
well, how does that help the people? How does that help the people? If guys have not done the actual work, you've not tasked this guy to do his job as a leader, you're more interested in making sure that the relationship that the Sanusi and his former friend had is fine. It's not about the people. It has never been about the people. So the elite are the problem, especially the northern elite, because they don't tell themselves the truth. There are issues in the north. Millions of people are out of school. Millions of people are displaced. Some of them are in the IDP camps. What are they doing? What are Salami doing? They're flying private jet and are trying to sort people out that will be fine eventually. So it doesn't make sense. This is another avenue. 10-man committee. They're going to spend money. They'll give them cars. They'll travel around. They'll sit in one table and drink and waste money that Kano State does not have. They should be ashamed of themselves.
All right, we'll go to the Punch newspaper. There is an editorial that looks something you might want to read. The Buhari editorial, more points to ponder. That's the Punch. Remember, they've taken to addressing him as a retired Major General. Having cabals in government not wrong, says presidency. That's a new one. Having cabals in government not wrong, says presidency. You might need to not jump to conclusions. Let's read the story on page 8 of the paper before we do, and then we have our guests to help us make sense of it. So sit tight. Let's just run through some of the headlines. Showore, Malami denies receiving U.S. legislators later. Better to rubber stamp than fight executive. That's House of Representatives Speaker Gbajabiamila speaking this morning. And of course, the religious rights violation watch list is also on the front page. Christmas carol captured on the front page. Tragedy as a boy man kills his 2 children. The CBN slashing of ATM withdrawal charges is also there. Some lecturers not qualified to be in the universities. That's according to ASU. And then we have some other stories on the front page of the paper. Suspected cyber criminals arrested with hard drugs in Lagos. That's it on the front page. More there for you that you can see. The TRCN, the teacher qualifying examination, also on the front page. And on the back page of the Punch, we have borders and economic security. That's somebody speaking on economic statecraft. All right, Jide, quickly, your thoughts on any of these?
Having cabals in government not wrong, says presidency, and I thank God for Shehu Gaba coming up eventually to admit that there is cabal in the presidency. You know, the First Lady came up with that theory, which was vehemently denied. But from the report of Shehu Gaba himself, he claimed to have Googled the meaning of cabal, you know, that threw up mystic, you know, cultic and stuff like that. And if you look at how the management of this country has been going lately, then you may want to agree with me that there are some elements who are perhaps more comfortable with poverty and disunity and disorienting the governance process than putting us in line. So if he has come to this point, I think he also needs to Google more on the points of good governance and ensure that the government he represents delivers good governance, because I keep saying history is recording and the narrative can change, but it depends on the will. And having said all this, we have somebody who presides over the presidency, and that is the president of Nigeria, that we have given the mandate to manage this country. And like a pilot flying an aircraft, we need to get to the destination safely and joyously. So thank God they are coming up with this, and I hope that we know that the essence of continuity is to improve on whatever has been delivered to you. So we Nigerians look forward to a better narrative than in what the we coming have year.
Ogochukwu, I saw you shaking your head. Which one are you disagreeing with?
It's a cabal thing, because we've been here before. Under Yar'Adua, we had the same issue, right? And it was so, what is the cabal doing? What are they offering us? No, they're fighting among themselves. Aisha Bayoli comes out to tell us when she has issues, all right? She doesn't tell us about how she used her money to go and take care of her children abroad, fly out the president abroad, and do other crazy stuff with the money that we don't have, right? So what is the cabal doing? It goes back to what I'm saying about the elite. They are there not to help the people, right? We've seen in civilized countries, in countries across the world, we've seen when the elite or the people, maybe the people that help the presidency or work with him in some high-level capacity, they make policies, they do things that push the economy forward, right? But what we have are men that their IQ is not fit for a primary school, you know. driving our nation backward to destruction. So the cabals or whatever they call themselves, and for Garba Show, his turn will be over. Very soon he become a yesterday man like Ruben Abati, and then we can answer him. Therefore now he can continue saying what he's saying, but the cabal, having a cabal, dictating how this country goes doesn't make sense for anybody.
All right, let's take a look at the Vanguard. The Vanguard paper is looking very Christmassy with the Christmas lights on it. As you can just flash it, there you have it. Very Christmassy indeed. I think we should start saying Merry Christmas all the time when we look at the papers. But the thing is, the stories are not very Christmassy, so to speak. Wadume, police bid to take case to Buhari as army is yet to release soldiers indicted in police IRT men's killing. Indicted captain's promotion to rank of major cancelled. Yes, that story needs to be, we need to find a conclusion to it. Christmas Carol captured also on the front page. No sin in having a cabal, we've taken that. CBN slashing electronic transfer, we've taken that. Edo APC captured Obaseki on rejection of Lawan's peace panel. And then the teachers' examination, those that passed and failed. Disputed oil wells, Wike inciting disunity in a Joland. That Dixon speaking. Give us Leah Sharibu as our Christmas gift, not on Christian elders tell Buhari. On the back page, we have sports stories. I'll just get you guys to the Wadumi. If I was told that this story will slide into the background without any conclusion, I would find that hard to believe. But then again, are we only a motive at the time of an event, or do we have the spirit to continue to find a conclusion to it, just like we're seeing now?
You see, the Nigerian people are tired. People are tired. The bag of rice in this country is how much? Transport fed from Lagos to East or from Lagos to Abuja is how much? People are sick. Some people don't have anything to eat. All right, so they're in their own space, just trying to survive, just trying to thrive by before SARS kills them or anything happens to them. And that is a sad, what I'm painting is a sad picture, and that is what it is. And what is even worse is that you have an army officer that killed 3 police officers that are working on an assignment for the government. The army and the police are here to show you how bad things are here. The army is here to give this guy to the police to try him effectively, and that is how it's supposed to be. Because what he did was it was against the law, all right? What are they doing? They've been doing back and forth. Now they want to take it to the presidency. Who is GCFR? This thing shouldn't be on the front page of the newspaper. But now the president, if he is a leader, I don't think he is, should be at the forefront of this. Whoever is at fault should be punished. Because what you're going to do, if you punish this person, this army guy that did this, it starts as a deterrent. So you don't go clean your other security officials that are doing their job. What are they doing? This guy is still, they want to promote him. They want to promote him.
Cancelled.
Not yet. They've not done anything.
You said it was cancelled to rank of major.
So that they would have done that to show you where we are, to show you how things bad are. So for me, I pity Nigerians. Like myself, it's not easy. All right. So how many things do you want to get hold of in a particular day? So it's difficult.
Do you see a conclusion to this case? Really?
Crime is crime, and if you don't deal with crime, crime will deal with you. And I think we are grooming crime in Nigeria, particularly checking the complicity. Soldiers killing policemen and setting free a kidnapper. So you now benchmark that with the fact that terrorists came to town, kidnapped Dapchi girls, returned some of them in a fanfare, collected ransom that the government denied, and withheld some, and made a claim that it withheld one because she refused to renounce her Christian faith. And we are complaining that America is putting us on a watch list. I think we need a new governance narrative.
So just to add quickly, you talked about we normalizing crime. Last week there was a crisis in Surrey, in Lagos. There was a court clash. As of this morning, I was reading the newspaper. Do you know who went to Surrey to ask for their release? MC Olumo. This is the same guy that was negotiating with the OPs and rest of them on how much they will pay before they apply on Lagos Road. And we said that we're pro-innovation. I say, how can you empower someone like that in a society? You see, when you're sending a signal to a young boy in Okoko or in Oshodi that don't go to school, don't be like me. Because when you finish, you come on TV and be talking until what happened. Right? Because this same guy, 2-3 years, he start flying with governors. Tinubu is on his speed dial. So what did they do? A tout. He's discussing with the local government chairman to release people that were caught causing trouble in Surrey.
And it's on record that this group brings in about 4.7 billion naira monthly as revenue collected. within the system of Lagos State governance.
You would say
So
maybe
we have a lot of things to deal with, really.
So much to talk about as the year wraps up. We hope that we have learned lessons, hopefully, that will make next year better for all of us. Before I say my goodbyes to you, gentlemen, let's just take a quick look at complete sports. Igalo drops out of CAF race, how he will be dazzled his way to Arsenal Academy at age 8. That's a bit of history for you on the front page. There are loads of stories you can see. All sports lovers, go get a copy of Complete Sports. And don't forget that Vanguard also have sports stories on the back page for your pleasure this morning. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. And of course, happy holidays to you watching. Take care of yourself. Have time with family. God bless you. My name is Felicity Ezewike.